Hello everyone, I am the Canadian Gaming Penguin. As you may know, the Yokai Watch collaboration event has returned to Final Fantasy XIV. Yay! The event began on August 19th, 2020 and will continue on until the release of patch 5.4. I've been noticing some questions or concerns, at least on my server, with various things related to this event, which is why I'm making this video. I have some tips that I think may help address some of these concerns, and with participating in the event. I also have some corrections to make or things that I missed in my previous videos. I will also give some advice on how to help prevent burnout on this event or from the game in general. First of all, I'll give a bit of a rundown of how this event works, as this will also address some of the questions I have been seeing. There are 17 Yokai Watch minions, 17 Yokai Watch themed weapons, and 3 Yokai Watch themed mounts available to collect in this event. In order to get the minions, you will need to collect Yokai medals. In order to get the weapons, you will need to collect legendary Yokai medals. In order to get the mounts, you will need to collect a certain amount of minions and a certain amount of weapons. In order to get the Yokai medals, you will need to have the Yokai Watch equipped and participate in fates and earn a silver or gold rating. In order to get the legendary Yokai medals, you will need to summon a specific Yokai minion and participate in fates in specific areas, and again obtain a silver or gold rating. To know which areas for each of the minions, check the Yokai Medallium found under Duty Collection, or you can find it at the bottom of the minion guide. You do not need the Yokai Watch equipped for the legendary medals. To exchange the medals, you'll need to head to the Gold Saucer and speak to this NPC, if you can see past all the people. Oh, a tip for seeing past all those people so you can interact with him when holding the X key will hide the names and display the NPCs, etc. If you're playing on PS4, I'm not sure if there's a way to do this. If you do know of a way, please leave a comment down below. If you have never participated in this event before, you will have a starting quest in Ul'dah near the Aetheryte. Once you have completed the quest, you will obtain the Yokai Watch, a Yokai Medal, and have access to the Yokai Medallium. If you have participated in this event before and have misplaced your Yokai Watch, you can get a new one for 100 gil via a recompense officer. The recompense officers are located in each city-state. You will find the watch under Purchase Other Seasonal Event Items. You will also have access to the Yokai Medallium, again under Duty Collection, or at the bottom of the minion guide. I also have to apologize, in my previous videos I had stated that it was from the Calamity Salvager and not the Recompense Officer. I was going off the developer's blog when I stated this, which incorrectly states Calamity Salvager. I didn't check this for myself until I heard others saying that the Recompense Officers have the watch. The Recompense Officers are found beside the Calamity Salvager, so hopefully if you were going by my previous videos, you were able to find the watch eventually. In order to get the 17 minions, you need a total of 49 Yokai medals. The first minion will cost only 1 Yokai medal. The remaining 16 Yokai minions will cost 3 Yokai medals each. Make sure the Yokai Watch is equipped. The first weapon you get will cost only 5 specific legendary Yokai medals. The remaining 16 weapons will cost 10 specific legendary Yokai medals each. Make sure you have equipped the correct minion and are doing fates in the correct areas. You can make sure you have the correct minion by interacting with the NPC in the Gold Saucer and seeing which medals are needed for each weapon. To make sure you are in the correct area, select the correct minion under the Yokai Medallium and look at the areas listed. Legendary medal drops are not guaranteed after each fate. I get roughly 1 legendary medal per roughly 3 fates. Before you panic too much, there is a lot of time to do this event, thus there is no reason to rush. To get the first mount, you will need to collect 13 minions. To get the second mount, you will need to collect 13 weapons. And to get the third mount, you will need to collect all 17 weapons. Once you have collected enough minions and weapons for the mounts, you will need to head to Old Gridania and speak to Jonathas to get your mounts. You can find them under Accept Achievement Reward, Quests. One suggestion I have is to place the Yokai Medallium onto a hotbar so you don't have to open up Duty Collection or the Minion's Guide every time to check where you need to go for each minion. Unless, of course, you find that easier to do. You may also want to write down which minion is needed for each weapon so that you don't have to return to the Gold Saucer, which is currently very busy, each time you want to move on to the next area, etc. I'm also going to suggest how to participate in fates, particularly the ones in A Realm Reborn areas. I will also firstly say that I missed this originally. Eastern Lenosha, Northern Thanalin, Kaworth's Central Highlands, Mordona are excluded from the areas where fates will award regular or legendary medals. The Shadowbringer areas are also excluded. Effectively, if you do not see one of the areas listed under a minion in the Yokai Medallium, then it is not one of the areas where you'll be able to get Yokai medals, normal or legendary. Now, you have probably noticed that the fates in A Realm Reborn areas are hard to get to in time as they are completed rather quickly. Or you may have arrived in time, but have not been able to contribute enough to get a silver or gold rating. This is, of course, because there are currently a lot of players during this event. It should improve over time as people finish the event, etc. My recommendation to help with this issue is to form a party. The party will share the participation credit, so you will get rewards even if you're not able to participate much on your own. This is especially helpful if your only class is a casting class and you don't have access to a skill that is quick. If you are a healer, healing your party will also count towards participation, but I do suggest throwing in an attack or two when you can. If you are in a party, I don't recommend just idling around and letting your party do all the work for you, unless they agree to your idling. If you don't have anyone to party with, I suggest using the shout feature in chat and ask to join a party. Using shout will allow players in the area to see your message. You could also use the say feature, but only those that are nearby will be able to see that message. If you would rather create your own party, you could use the Party Finder feature, or you could, again, use the Shout feature, but rather than asking to join a party, say that you're creating a party. This can be a little complicated if you can't see the player or players who would like to join your party, so I would recommend finding a meeting place and then inviting them to your party by right-clicking on their character and invite to party. There is a way to add people to a party without seeing their character, but I haven't a clue how it's done, so unfortunately I can't tell you. If someone knows, please leave a comment down below. There is also the option of using the Party Finder feature. For example, if I were to do this under the Party menu here, we have Party Finder, and you can see down at the bottom here we have Recruit Members, and if I have this duty selection, I can select Fates, and you don't have to worry about the objective because it doesn't really apply, but then I could add Yokai Watch or something like that, and then I would leave all these settings basically the same. If you want to specify which language you want, so for example, that's English there now is the only one, that would be Japanese, that would be, I believe, Dutch or German, and then French. So there you go. And then after you've selected your specifications, you click Recruit Members, and then you'll see your listing somewhere along here. It also wouldn't hurt to use the shout feature saying that there is a Party Finder up, or PF, and say that it is for the Yokai event. And don't forget to use the party chat to communicate with your party. If you happen to be playing the trial version of the game, unfortunately you will not be able to create your own party, but you can be invited to someone's party. You also will not be able to use the shout, yell, or tell features, thus you will have to rely on the say chat features, unless of course you have a friend that plays and can create parties. I'm also not sure if you have access to join parties via the Party Finder, or if you even have access to the Party Finder at all. So if you do have access, please leave a comment down below. Now, for players that have access to the Heavensward and Stormblood areas, I would recommend alternating between these areas and the A Realm Reborn areas. And the reason why I suggest this is because it will be a bit of a break to the intensity of the A Realm Reborn areas. This can help alleviate some burnout. At least that's what I've been finding, as it's nice to go at a little slower pace and not have to worry about getting enough credit in fates because of arriving too late to a fate. These fates may take a little longer, so joining a party will also help, as you would be working on the same fate at the same time and can get through the fates more quickly. Alternatively, if you are only in the Heavensward or Stormblood areas, which will be slower, that may get a little tiresome too. So I would also suggest maybe swapping back to A Realm Reborn areas, or doing something else in the game, or just taking a break. For those who have not unlocked the Heavensward areas or the Stormblood areas, working on the main scenario quest could be the break that you need between fate grinding. Alternatively, if you're not in a party, or even if you are, you could queue up for a duty and do fates while you wait for the duty to commence. One other piece of advice to help prevent burnout is to have a basic plan of what you'd like to achieve in the game each time you log in relation to this event, or anything in the game in general. Now, I don't mean a day-by-day schedule, but rather a rough idea of what you would like to achieve when you log into the game. For example, say I want to get X weapon, and I decide I want to try to get 5 legendary medals in total during the time I log in. Then I would take a break or do something else in game once I've achieved that. Then the next day I decide I want to get the remaining medals needed, if applicable, so I go and do that. Another example could be as simple as I want to get all the medals in this area, or I want to play for only this amount of time, so on and so forth. If you do want to play for only a certain amount of time and don't have access to a device with a timer, there is an alarm system in the game. You can find the alarm here under Character, Actions and Traits, or default P, and then under Extras you can see Alarm, and if I right click on this you can see I have Add Alarm, and you can rename your alarm to whatever you want within 10 characters, and you can set it to local time, server time, or Eorzea time. So if I wanted to have a alarm for local time at, I don't know, 3:29, which it already is, so it's not actually going to go off, so I'll just delete that, but anyway. Then you would have an alarm in game, and by default, or not by default, I have mine assigned to 3, numpad 3 that is. And in the keybind section, you can find it, and under shortcuts, you can find it, if I can see it, alarms down here, at the very bottom of shortcuts. Which is why I assigned it, because otherwise I was never going to find it again. Anyway, so that all said, I think the easiest way to keep from burnout is to add some variety into what I'm doing each time I log in. One final tip that I have, well, this is more of an answer to the question of, now I have all these weapons, but they take up so much room. Where should I store them? The answer to that is the Armoire chest. The Armoire chest, which you can find here in the inn rooms. Unfortunately, right now, the newest weapons are not storable in the Armoire chest, but I imagine that will change in the future. If you plan to use the weapons as Glamour, you can still store them in the Armoire chest. You can access items from the Armoire chest via the Glamour chest here. That is all the tips and advice I have for now. Are there any tips that you have that I missed? Or do you have any concerns or comments about the event that I didn't mention? Please leave a comment down below. I hope you found these tips and advice useful, and if you did, please hit that like button. While you're down there, please also consider subscribing if you would like to see more content like this. I also hope that your progress in the event is going well and that you're able to get all the things you're hoping to get during this event. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching.